I just feel like I need to blast into some nice vocals there, but I don't have it. Hello and welcome to the Trio of Positivity podcast. We appreciate you people hopping on and joining us today. What a beautiful week of preseason football we had, boys. I hope you're excited. We got a great show for you today. We are talking about the Bears' upcoming Week 2 preseason game where supposedly starters will play. We will talk a little bit fantasy, get you guys started. I'm sure your drafts are happening soon. Get you guys started on that, and just share some feedback on the last game we had. Pretty jam packed show. But again, we appreciate you guys joining us today. I'm your co-host Poopan, joined by my boys here, CJ, Mike's here. What's up, boys? Say
Oh
hello.
my god, who's CJ? Haven't heard
CJ,
that
back
name
in
in
the day.
forever.
I didn't know what name you're going with today. I'm sorry.
I think I've
Oh
kept it the
yeah,
same.
I'm sorry.
for a while.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah, I
that
miss the
music though.
CJ was so
times.
season 1.
That was when the Bears had Justin Fields
Hey, Fields got a tutty. Fields got a tutty.
He
running
did. He did. It'll be a
per
lot more of that.
usual.
Yeah, it'll be a lot more of that this season. All right. Before I throw it to you to get your reaction on preseason week 1.
No, that's not how we're starting. Boys, happy birthday. I hope you guys had fantastic days. It is the dreaded birthday week of these two assholes.
Dreaded.
Dreaded.
Wow.
Dreaded, yeah, because okay, so we're gonna go on a tangent. So I have reminders set on my phone. I don't use Facebook as much as I used to anymore. So I have calendar reminders letting me know when is your birthday and stuff. But apparently this happened years ago. I set reminders to remind me a week ago and then the day before. Why do I need to know a week before that it's your birthday? I don't know.
Maybe you'll send us a gift someday.
Because
I don't know.
we're important. That's why.
Okay, but then I was like looking at it, and the first time I saw it, it was for Miller because Miller's birthday's first. And I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's his birthday. Oh, it's not his birthday. It's letting me know that it's his birthday a week from now. That's
Yeah.
not useful at all. Like that, like the way that the iPhone message pops up to let you know, like you have a reminder. It's like, oh, it's the day of. But no, I have that reminder for 1 week, and then I have Boopin's reminder for 1 week. And yeah, so I know Facebook, one of the greatest inventions was people putting their Facebook birthdays on there, and you just get a little notification every time you wake up.
That is literally the only way to do it.
I'm trying to change it. I'm gonna go straight to phone
all my
where it's
important people are also on my calendar. But okay, why the day before? The day off makes sense. So you can say, "Hey, happy birthday!" But why day before?
I schedule text messages saying happy birthday, and ever since the
Oh
send
my
later,
gosh, you're such a loser.
yeah, that way I make
That's
sure I
actually
send it.
smart.
I send it. I don't have to worry about it. It's done. Send later is the greatest thing that's ever created, and so I have it specifically designed for certain text message groups, certain things, and it works.
Can we be honest for a second?
Sure.
I have no idea how to do send later. I didn't even know it was an option.
Hit the plus button on the side, and there's a button that says send later, and you can schedule it with the date and time. It's the greatest thing ever.
You like send it once a year. You schedule it later for a year from now.
Can I schedule that far ahead now? Hold on.
I mean, if you're doing a reminder a week before, that's what I would do. But I do that with Slack. I do that with Gmail. I didn't know I could do that with iMessages, but I'll check it out. Before we
it
get
only
into
lets you go 2 weeks ahead. 2 weeks ahead. That's the highest it lets you go.
good to know. Good to know.
But
Quick
yeah, happy birthday,
social
boys.
plug. Thank you. Miller, how was your
Thank you.
birthday? How'd it go?
It was good, uneventful.
Yeah, got yourself some whiskey as birthday gifts. I heard.
No, I did
Allegedly.
not. I drank some,
Allegedly.
but no, it was an uneventful shit, dude.
I might get myself.
Is it the older that we get, the less that we just want to do now? Are we at that point in our lives? I don't know. I mean, you guys have kids, so I don't know if it's like a little bit different. Maybe when they're older, they're going to run to you with their gifts and whatnot. But like,
No,
I know the older that I get, it's just like, oh, it's my birthday. I'm
I,
good.
I was telling people after you're 25, I don't know, 24. Not even
I
matters.
think
It's
30. 30's it. Yeah. And then
Zeros and fives. That's all I
yes,
told
that's
Steph.
what I was gonna
Zeros
say.
and fives. I don't
Yep.
fucking give a shit.
After 30's 5, then 0, 5, then 0.
all right. So it
And
was
the
neither.
golden birthday. Have you guys had your golden birthdays already?
What is that?
Yeah, it was when
You
I was
have?
11, bro.
When you were 11? Okay.
You have
Go-
two.
You have 2
We all
golden
have.
birthdays, I believe.
The
No, we
fuck is
don't.
what the fuck is a golden birthday?
The golden birthday, if I am correct, which I may be wrong, is usually the day
Oh, I thought it was
in
month
the
and
day
day.
you were born, and then that is your golden birthday. So for me, it was August 11th. So my golden birthday would be 11. That's how I always understood it.
See, I thought it was 2, and I can't remember if it was the month or the year.
I don't know. I've
All
never
right.
heard the year thing, but I guess
We'll
it could be a year thing.
we'll take that offline and we'll post about it on our socials,
No, we won't. But go ahead.
Trio Positivity Podcast. At Twitter, X, we are at Trio Positivity. We have a YouTube channel, Trio Positivity Podcast. TikTok, always a question mark. We have a new website.
Oh,
More things coming up there because we paid the dues, so we need to write some stuff up there. But all that
We
coming
did
up.
not pay the dues. It's literally inactive.
no, it was paid automatically. So yes,
Well, we
the
tried to
website.
search it today and it didn't come up.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You better get your money back. But
Hold on.
as Chris is doing that, maybe Miller, I'll throw it to you. Any big takeaways from
No,
season?
Chris gets to go first because I'm going to do whatever one he doesn't take.
Okay, preseason week one reactions. I got something, but I think like you guys might hit on it too, so I can go last or first.
Um. So just to recap from our conversation, we already knew that the starters were mostly not going to play. I think only one of the starters got some touches. The alleged starter, which is one of our tackles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're
Um,
talking the Bears. Okay, cool.
yeah, for the
We're,
Bears.
we're talking about overall
Overall,
takeaways.
the Bears are fine too.
Oh, of what? Of the game?
The
Yeah.
whole preseason.
Oh.
Preseason week one takeaway.
Oh, preseason. I am so sorry. I thought you were jumping straight into the Bears. I'm so sorry, guys. Um, it's letting me know that summer's almost over. I think that's what
Jesus,
preseason.
do you even know what to fucking talk about, bro? Okay,
I don't
fine.
know.
I'll
It
go
was
first.
just well.
Since
Let me
you're not
finish.
gonna
Let me
second.
finish. Let me finish. I will say preseason for me, it's always the marker that summer's almost over. So like I always hate preseason week one. Ever since they shortened the schedule of preseason, I now look forward more to week 2. But yeah, week 1 was great to see some highlights.
Okay, so for me, it was Mr. Little who knocked a 70-yard field goal.
Yeah,
That was
baby.
insane.
That was
And some
nuts.
people in this chat think that we're going to be hitting 85 in like 10 years, and I'm still out on that. But
It's 15 more
it
yards,
was
brother.
definitely 4 yards more than we've seen in the past. And it kind of sucks for him because it technically doesn't count because it wasn't during the regular season, so it's not going to be on the record books. But he did it. 70 yards for the Panthers, right? Very
Oh no,
impressive.
no, Jacksonville.
Was it Jacksonville? Jacksonville. And I saw something today. He's never missed an extra point in his career. High school, college, and NFL.
I'm sorry. I have to cut this off. This is the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Can you guys search Trio of Positivity in Google?
Wait, the images or what?
No, just I'm sending it in the group chat.
Are you talking
Oh.
about the AI?
I can see shit. What? Can you share your screen or something?
I mean, I sent it. I sent it.
Welcome to our podcast. This is fun.
Who the fuck are those guys?
We're
Who the fuck is that?
I didn't get the picture, but
Yeah,
that's
you don't
just
see
funny.
Zoom in.
you don't see the
Oh,
picture on the computer somehow.
I don't see the picture on the computer, but I saw the picture on your phone. Awesome. Awesome. That was a great segment. That was awesome.
Oh, who the fuck is that, bro?
Wait, is it a different podcast or it's our podcast?
No, it's
No,
our description, but who the fuck are these
no.
guys?
I am
Mindset,
actually pretty
purpose.
impressed that AI grabbed
Dude,
our
it's a
shit though.
different podcast. Mindset, purpose, and relationships.
Okay, put it all together, one word.
No, mine didn't. Mine talked about is the term is also used in context of sports, such as the Trio of Positivity podcast, which focuses on finding optimism within the Chicago sports landscape.
That's a
Oh shit!
mouthful.
Hey, we made it on the
Okay, are we
Google.
gonna like start this over?
No,
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 we're rolling with this, brother. This is the funniest shit. This is the funniest thing that's ever happened with Trio Positivity.
that's pretty good. But
Really, the funniest thing, like the
Yes.
funniest thing,
Yes.
okay.
or
My
the funniest thing.
my takeaway was it was like an interesting preseason week one because like Chris always talks about it. The schedules changed. You don't know who's playing, who's not playing. A decent amount of starters didn't play, but like Patrick Mahomes played and Bryce Young played, right? Like so, like Tua played. So it's
Joe
interesting.
Burrow
Joe
played.
Burrow played. Like I mean, Burrow is a different thing. Like the Bengals are doing a different thing, but it's like kind of interesting to see like how teams are also like there's no blanket. This is the right way to do it. They're all doing their own thing. So that was like kind of cool to see. While like Patrick Mahomes, I like it's the same offense, right? Nothing's changed, but he's out there that like that shows something. Some teams that had to prove something, like I think Miami did. That's why Tua was out there. Bryce, they're probably trying to figure some stuff out with them. That was like slightly interesting to me. I think this week most starters I think will play. Maybe the Rams and stuff may not play, but I think majority of the starters will go on this week. But it was interesting to see like what's approaches teams were taking. There was no blanket like this is the way to do it kind of a thing. So that added some zing to the mix for sure.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that teams are realizing that the lack of tackling in practice, the lack of physical contact in practice really shows up in the first 4 weeks of the season. So if you can get that game experience, it helps in the long run, even though it does open you up to injuries, just like anything that they do on the practice field. But I think teams are starting to realize that.
That was fascinating. Talking about preseason week one, bringing it home here. The Bears played. That we played the Dolphins. We may touch on the practice they had beforehand in one of our takeaways, but it was a pretty it's a pretty one-sided game. I don't know if I can call that because it was a draw, but a lot more positives I think on the Bears side, especially on the defensive side, than for the Miami side, in my opinion. Um, Here's a big takeaway for me: not many starters played for the Bears. Like Chris said, Braxton Jones, our left tackle, was the only starter, quote unquote starter that played. Um, on the Miami side, Tua and crew definitely had a series. Was it two, Miller? They just had one series.
No, I think it was just one series.
It was one series. They couldn't punch it in. I think it was a fourth down that they turned over. I'm assuming because there was no points. So again, a good show for the defense there. Um, I can give my takeaways, Miller, and I'll throw it to you. I think the defense played hard, and like we've had this chat offline, so maybe we bring it here. A lot more pursuing the ball. I think playing aggressive football. Like there was like lots of people like on the backside of the play, running and tackling the play on the other side. That I saw that I really liked. Um, the offense, I feel like there was more separation. Mostly talking about Luther Burden's snaps that I saw a couple of them. There was like good separation there. I don't know if it's a scheme. maybe it's a second, third tier defensive players playing out there too, but it seemed the wide receivers seem to have some separations there. Those that was my big takeaway there. Um, and yeah, let's start there. We have some concerns about Caleb and them. We'll save it for the second half of this conversation. Then that was my takeaways from the Bears Miami 24-24 tie. Boys, got
You want
anything?
me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, just to follow up on what you just talked about. Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, when you're talking a preseason game with a lot of second and third strings, you're going to see a high energy output, and you saw that exactly this week. They were flying around the field as they should, right? They're playing for their job for most of these guys, so you expect the high energy. You also can talk about the fact that some of these guys are not Ben Johnson guys. Like the big guy or the big one that was talked about significantly was Noah Sewell. He is a linebacker that came up with Eberflus that is currently fighting between him and the fifth rounder that we just drafted, Ruben Hippolyte. And Noah Sewell played with a different energy that we never saw last year. So maybe there is a change of culture going on in the stadium that is showing itself on the field and that much. Um, Big takeaways here. Austin Booker, huge game, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble. He is our fourth rounder that we drafted last year. He's an edge. We wanted to see if he was going to take a next step. We'll see if this is it. Albeit it was against second and third stringers. We'll see. We don't know. Boopin touched on it a little bit. Braxton Jones and Ozzie Trapillo both played. They're the left tackles. I want to focus on this game right now, but let's just say the left tackle and right tackle situation got a lot messier today that we'll get into. So they both played. Braxton Jones had a huge missed block on the goal line. Thankfully, Agent Bajent was still able to hit his guy in the back of the end zone for the touchdown on that play. And then you have to look at the running back situation. Roshan Johnson got hurt in this game and wasn't able to play. And who stepped up? The backups. Kyle Monungai, our seventh round pick, had a pretty decent game. And then one of the stars of Hard Knocks last year, Ian Wheel, had a
Yeah.
great game. So they were both in, and they're both trying to take the spots. So if Roshan continues to have injury issues, one of these guys could take his spot. So it's interesting to see this running back situation. Obviously, DeAndre Swift is our number one, but you know how Ben Johnson runs his scheme. He's done it since we've seen him be an offensive coordinator. He has 2 backs. So who's going to be that second back that's going to take those short yardage plays? So we'll see. It was a uneventful game, 24-24 tie. Kind of sucks at the end of it, but it'll be interesting to see, man. It was the first coach game by Ben Johnson. Pretty decent as far as using the time. We had a field goal with 1 second to go in the first half, which was pretty impressive. So hopefully time management is on our side these days because we all know it wasn't last year.
Yeah. Chris, you got any takeaways? I got some points on there otherwise.
I mean, I was gonna touch on that. It was a 57-yarder, which would have been a career high for Santos.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, and we're over here talking about 70 yards, like possibly being a new norm in the future. You never know.
That's you.
I mean, hey, it's starting to happen. I think I noticed
Hey.
someone was trying to kick like a 63-yarder too. But I feel like you can get away with doing it in preseason just for funsies. I will say the it's game one, so I don't want to do too much like Monday morning QBing. I think it was fine. The defense played great. It looks like they were switching back and forth a lot. Um, so it seemed fine. The only thing I would probably say that is the negative is we didn't see our starters, but I think it was already discussed in the press conference that we will see them in game two. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
And I think we have some points about that too coming up. But talking about running backs, Miller, did you see Kyle Manangai like try and block Bradley Chubb, who's like probably one of the more impressive defensive. Is he a linebacker? I think he might be a
He's an
lineman.
outside
Yeah,
linebacker. Yeah.
but like yeah, like it was like that was pretty impressive. Like Manangai on him. That was like they asked him about him too, and it was funny. But talking about Ozzy Tropilo and Braxton Jones, yes, Braxton Jones had that one, um, pretty costly mistake, but like I think overall he looked solid. Like Ozzy has a higher ceiling, perhaps, but I think Ozzy still has some ways to go. The defensive players were just chopping him and like getting around him a couple of times. While Braxton, apart from the one play you mentioned, was fairly solid. So I feel like yes, there is competition, which is good to see. Right? It's our second round player like pushing our starter. That's really good to see. But I feel like while there's competition, Braxton Jones probably is in the lead too there. Wanted to push back on Austin Booker's too. He had a great preseason last year. If Bears are the preseason champs, he's the preseason champ of the Bears because he had a great preseason last year too. People were pumped about him. I think it was the game against. It was the first game of the second game last year where he had an amazing game last year too. But it'll be awesome to see him in the regular season. It'll be additional depth for us. But yeah, it'll be fun to see where he ends up. Um, do you want to touch on Caleb not starting Miller and like what rumors were out there or what stuff stories were out there
Yeah.
after?
So um, I'll kind of run through the entire scenario. So basically, Ben Johnson came out early last week and made the announcement that no starters were going to play. Subsequently, before the game on Sunday, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and the rest of the offensive starters, if you will, they went through 76 plays, um, basically simulating a game, that whole fucking spiel and whatever. Ben Johnson came out saying that it was above and beyond anything you could expect. It was so much better than anything that you could have got from the game. Blah 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 blah. But what is your overall take um, on Caleb not playing? Because well, you guys just answer that question with not getting any reps in a real game.
Chris, I know you got some opinions.
Well, I want to ask you guys first. It's it's week one. He's not going to get what 76. You said Miller. He's not going to
Yeah.
get 76 touches. You know, I mean, if a quarterback has to go and do 76 like planned plays that early, like I think that's a bit much. But we probably would have seen him one drive, maybe two. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not like before where what was it, week three? Where they played the whole first half.
Hmm.
Um,
I think that'll
and
be
that
this week for a lot of teams.
I don't know if they do the first half anymore though. I have yet to really see that.
Usually
Where
it's game two. Game two this week is the game where they usually play the longest.
Yeah.
Usually it's about a half.
okay, I mean, we'll see if they go a half. My thing is like I know that there's people that watch preseason games and they're like, "Oh, well, it's a new coach. The new coach doesn't want to have the playbook shown with the starter stuff like that." I honestly don't know. I've seen a couple clips out there of people's like showing concern that he didn't play where all of these other stars did play, and it's like I'm very like about it. Like if I saw him for a drive and went 6 for 6, with a touchdown, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's a Super Bowl!" It's like so. I feel like this was a okay way to kind of like calm it down, but I would have liked to see more, I guess, from the O line or just something to kind of see where his growth might be. Like
Yeah.
if we have the starting O line just there with their first starters, obviously they got to see it in practice. So who am I to say?
I mean, like realistically, right? Like having starters out there, especially for the Miami's case, it was not a positive, right? They were there because our defense showed up in the practice and made them look bad. So Tua was out there singing the ball because they wanted to get some offensive rhythm, like you said, getting a momentum, whatever. So having starters out there is not necessarily a good thing. The other thing I'll probably say is like the fact that the entire offense was not there, even like Swift didn't play, and like DJ Moore wasn't out there. That tells me there's a little bit of a plan behind this madness, right? They probably went through a pretty rigorous workout, it seems. But like even without that, sounds like there's a plan. Like how will it work? Will it not? It's like a hindsight is 2020. But I feel like there is a plan, method to this madness. And seems like Ben Johnson is happy with the progress they made in practice. That's probably why he wasn't out there. So I would like to view it positively. I think.
Yeah, the
Miller, when you're done,
conspiracy
can you push it back to me? There's one thing I want to add, but I want to hear your point too.
the conspiracy theorists out there talk about the fact that
Are they on
they don't.
Twitter?
It's Miller. Miller's our
No,
conspiracy
stop!
theorist.
Stop! You're not letting me talk. Talk about the fact that they fear that Ben Johnson knows Caleb isn't ready and he didn't want to put him on the field. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. We all know how I feel about this team, and I've come to the conclusion that we hired Ben Johnson for a reason. Just let Ben Johnson be Ben Johnson and stop trying to do what the fans want, right? And put him out there for a series because, like Chris said, 76 plays is a lot of plays. He's not going to get that in a game. So if it's anywhere near, um, it's probably going to be more beneficial than just a series, right? He's obviously not going to have the players' defense coming at him, right? But at the end of the day, what are we most concerned about? We're most concerned that he can run a cadence and make sure his players know what's going on the field. Go ahead,
Um,
Chris.
yeah. So I'm gonna take it away from what we saw on the field, and I just want to get your guys' opinion on this. I was actually looking at possibly going to the game. Tickets were actually pretty decently priced. I think it was like $35 for a grandstand, like in the middle of the row kind of thing, which is pretty good. Especially those that go to Soldier Field, you know that the grandstands are like slanted very much down, so you get a good view. If I am paying $75, $80 to not watch my quarterback or my A team show up, preseason is done. Get rid of preseason or have one preseason game and get more regular season games. Like you have your home crowd there. I think only like 40,000 showed up and Soldier Field is like 65. Just
Yeah.
Okay,
what's
first
the
of
point?
all, that's a horrible take.
Why is it a horrible take though?
Chris, I'll back you up after Miller goes. I think
I
I'm on the same page.
understand the points, but the one thing, do you know how expensive it is to go to a Chicago's Bears fan?
Again,
These are the things that I have to think about with the two children. Like,
Again,
if I
I
was to go as a
completely get that.
family, I'm paying probably $1,000 to go to a game.
At
When you're
least.
talking about tickets, when you're talking about food, when you're talking about drinks, parking, you're looking at $1,000 minimum. And then you talk about a preseason game where you can get $35 tickets. Do you think some of these kids that are there really give a shit? They don't
But
know
see
any
there
better.
now you hold on. See now you hit my point. Regular season games are going to be more valuable in the sense that if you can have more regular season games, you will make more money by using your metric.
Not to a child. The child isn't going to
Doesn't
really
matter
care until they're in their
the child is
teenagers.
not going to walk to Soldier Field and ask for one ticket. It's going to be carried by two other people. So like you can't use that as a reference. Children don't. Most of the children in that are what 10%, maybe 15%. It's not 50%.
I'm just
It's not a
saying, calling the
Dora the
preseason.
Explorer concert.
I'm just saying, calling the
too soon,
preseason
too soon.
meaningless is just like.
Too soon, Chris.
I mean, it's a good thing to get families there because the regular season is just outrageous.
No, Chris, I agree with you that the preseason, like the product, seems broken and probably needs some intervention. What I will say is like these preseason games, while it looks meaningless to us or like has less meaning to us, I think like it's important for the players to like get that first hit, right? Like live contact, because like Miller was saying, in
But we didn't
practice
even get
doesn't.
that.
I mean,
What
some
are you
people did.
talking about? It was a real NFL game, guys. Like seriously, you guys act like it wasn't
No,
an
no,
NFL
no,
game.
no.
It
But
was
like,
an NFL game.
hang on,
Like
hang on.
it was second and third stringers,
I,
yes, but I mean it
I,
was just as physical as anything else.
I
It was
have
just
not
as
done
action
yet. I
packed
have more
as
ranting to do.
anything
Excuse
else.
me.
It was just second and third stringers for the majority of the time, and I get your
I have
points.
more ranting to do, please.
You guys are
So
Go
acting
ahead.
like
Continue
they
with
didn't
your
play.
ranting.
no, like what I was thinking, same thing like you said, Chris. Like going to a Bears regular season game, like even for like family of not four Miller, I think $1,000 is easy. Like three decent
Uh,
tickets, like food, whatever, like 11 to
See,
100.
decent tickets, I think yes, $1,000. But if you just want to go there, you can definitely go for like $400.
No,
Okay,
you can't. You're not getting into Soldier Field for under 100 and probably 30.
yeah, like
Unless it's
someone was coming
January
in.
1st.
Yeah, someone was coming in for like week 3 game on Reddit, and they were like tickets are like 230 a person. Is this normal? So everyone was like, wait a couple weeks, they'll suck a little bit, and then it'll get cheaper. But yeah, like
And that's the
230 was the
resale though.
cheapest.
We're
Yeah,
talking resale. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
I think box office, your minimum is 125.
No. Box office for like people that get no, that's I can tell you that that's not
Pull
true.
it up. It's not under 100,
okay.
bro.
As you
Grandstands are like 85.
That is not
as you're doing
factual.
that, let me finish my rant. So I'm thinking like preseason is what like I will take my kids to go, or like because one, they don't care about the game. Two, like it's probably more about the ambiance, the experience. I can tell them stuff. There'll be less crowd, whatever. But even that experience is like like they need to do something. That's what my whole point was. Like the preseason experience. Maybe they add kids can run into the field. I don't know, something dumb like that. That would like kind of like zoos it up. But for now, the preseason experience, it's neither as competitive as a regular preseason game. Like I know it's cheaper, but like the product itself is not as appealing to me to go for even for the cheaper prices. Is what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really count, right? But
All
it'll
right,
probably be mine first too. Okay, let's move on from this.
cool.
Talking about
Now,
depressing the cost of games when I could sit on the fucking couch and get Red Zone and the game on one TV.
like that's the other part. I enjoy Red Zone too much to go, but
See, that's
um,
different though. That all right, I'm going in a tangent. Go ahead.
all right, we are bringing people on to the greatest segment ever. The segment that'll win them money this year. We are reintroducing the fantasy segments. Your drafts are coming up. Our drafts are coming up. So we need to get back into the flow of things, and just to get things started. For today's episode, we brought you top 12 quarterbacks and top 24 wide receivers, broken down to tiers. We'll probably say a little bit about each one, kind of tell you how to prioritize drafting these in your drafts for the most part. Yeah, that's a general plan. I can start us off, boys. I'll go tier by tier. Pause briefly if you guys have any things to add. If that sounds good, we can kick it off right here. All right, let's start with the quarterbacks. you know, uh, the trend last, I don't know, 5 years ish was like, hey, late, pick up a decent quarterback, you'll be okay. Last couple of years, that's like kind of flipped on its head. The quarterbacks up top are really worth picking early. They're really the difference makers. They're usually at the end of the year, they are like the reason you win or don't win your championship. So, especially like top tier quarterbacks, in my opinion, Miller's making a face, so he'll probably have a rebuttal, hopefully. But tier one, I think, is worth picking up earlier than you would normally go for a quarterback. And these are usually the mobile guys that'll give you the extra yardage on the ground, maybe a touchdown here and there. So tier one quarterback, in my opinion, are Josh Allen from the Bills, Lamar Jackson from the Ravens, Jane Daniels from Washington, and Jalen Hurts from the Eagles. I feel like because of their mobility, I put them on tier one. In my opinion, they're a clear, like difference maker in their position and worth taking higher. Miller, speak.
I don't know. Um, First of all, like if you're talking about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, you're gonna have to take them in the second round. I don't necessarily know that the value is there comparatively. I would much rather go for a Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, if I'm gonna even do that. I am still not of the mindset to even consider them when I'm drafting. It's just too much value you're giving up in that position for a quarterback. Yes, they're studs, but you know what? Injuries happen, and I don't know. It's just a lot to commit to one position when realistically the you can get diamonds in the rough. You can stream quarterbacks. Doesn't work out great usually, but
No,
you can do it.
it's a different way of thinking. Last couple of years, I've been lucky enough to have Jalen Hurts. He's like put him
Have you
there,
won
and
any championships with Jalen Hurts?
okay, he gets hurt at the end. Like,
Got him.
it's like
Got him.
I don't know if that's the best argument. Like any player on like any given day could get hurt, but I consistently am in the top of the league. I'm like towards the top of the league, one of the best teams that scores the most amount of points. I'm happy with that, right? I'm stacking my chances of winning better than like having to find someone every week, every other week, fighting with other people on the waiver wire. I don't have to do that. I like that, especially when it comes with a positional advantage. That's just my personal opinion, but it's good to have some pushback. Um, Tier two, right below them, are like pretty efficient, probably proven quarterbacks at this point. I have Joe Burrow from the Bengals, Patrick Mahomes from the Chiefs, and Baker Mayfield from the Bucks. In tier two, like they're not as mobile. They can run. All of them are have capable of running, but it's usually not the first thing they do. They probably do it, just to keep a play going. Get some sneaky yards here and there. But I feel like they are the next tier of quarterbacks there. Typically going like
No. Joe Burrow is tier two. I would argue he's probably tier one. Patrick
I would
Mahomes,
probably
Baker,
say tier one. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, if you're talking fantasy, hasn't been tier two in a while. I know a lot of people are projecting a bounce back this year, but with the potential suspension for Rashid Rice, there's no guarantee that things are going to get any better. Kelsey's 1 year older. Worthy is worthy, right? Hollywood Brown's still Hollywood Brown. He's always hurt. So they still only have Worthy. What's to say that he's automatically going to come back and have a great year? I'm not sold on him. Baker, if you look at his statistics, he had a really abnormal rushing last year compared to his norm.
mhm.
Normally, he runs for about 150, 160 yards. Last year, he was almost at 500. So the expectation is that he may go back to his normal rushing amount. And if that does happen, he immediately drops significantly because last year he had a lot of touchdowns and he had high rushing. So who knows what's going to happen with Baker? There is some risk there. So um,
It is
I
a
don't like
different
that at
off.
all.
It is a different offensive coordinator in Tampa, so they may go back. But the fact that they were uber successful last year, they had a really good year. I feel like they may do something that worked.
But he had a lot of big runs. He had like
I,
30,
I,
40-yard
but these
runs.
these were not like drawn up runs, right? These were runs like he was
Yeah, but
opportunistic.
he's never done that his whole career. That's the point.
But that's what I'm saying. It worked last year, so I feel like they will.
But you
They're
can't,
probably
you can't, you can't say they're oh my god,
Words.
opportunistic. You can't say they're opportunistic and then say, well, he's never done them his entire career. So, well, it'll happen. They can schedule it. You can't say both things.
no. I'm not saying he was gonna rush. I said they're definitely not rushing. None of them are. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. They're not like run first, but like I feel like they're sneaky. They can run. They'll extend plays, and usually is an advantage to their position. I put them higher just looking at the guys below them. They're slightly proven. That's why I put them there. Um, that's a good segue into tier three for me. Tier three is Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, and Dak Prescott for me, and that like kind of wraps up the top 12 quarterbacks. Like slightly like especially Bo Nix, more unproven than proven. Kyler Murray up and down, I get it, but I think in terms of quarterbacks, you can get these guys like probably around eight through it's like seven through nine, 8 through 10. So like you're not investing a lot, and especially a couple of them there. I believe in them. I'm not saying I believe in all of them, but looking at the stats, these are like the consensus tier three quarterbacks that I found.
I have the decision to make if I want to keep Bo Nix or Baker Mayfield or neither. And everybody's very high on Bo Nix. And it very much scares me to make a decision with that because he is the second year quarterback, but he does have that rushing floor like a like a tier two, we'll say. He gets that 500 yards. He rushed in college. He went to Oregon, so he has the legs under him to do it. It's just, do I trust him? And the one thing he has going for him, he has one of the best offensive minds in football, in Sean Payton. So if you look at his stats from last year, I think it's week like 8 to week like 18. He was on pace to throw for like 4,200 yards and like 40 something touchdowns as well. So um, if they can figure him out and they can do what all these offensive minds do, just like Kyle Shanahan did with Purdy, um, he could be successful because he does offer that rushing floor. Justin Fields, get the fuck out of here, bro. Tier three, fucking shit. He could be benched by week 6.
Dude, like his rushing again. I don't know. I know why you've been such a hater. His rushing alone, like that's what will bring him value. He never gave you fantasy value as a passer.
Okay, give me the last time Justin Fields gave you fantasy value.
Like he was a league winner a couple of years ago, wasn't he? At
No,
the
he
end of the
was
year.
not. Okay, at the end of the year, maybe. I don't think he was ever that good. Like the year that he was supposed to do good, he never translated. I think you're right. I think there was a few games back in his sophomore year, like towards the end, that got him really hyped, which is why we said he could be MVP. But like, I mean, it translated to shit.
Okay, who would you throw in there that I missed?
I don't know. I haven't looked close enough.
Way to do your research, bud. Um, One
I
thing
can.
I will say though, just looking at this list alone, I think Herbert could have a breakout, but I also know that Purdy has the easiest schedule.
Does
If I remember.
you're right?
And I think Bills are also up there with like the easy schedule and the Jets, but like I don't know if that really matters when it comes to I know it matters for like sports books where they start looking at that because I think the Bears have like
Fifth hardest or something. Yeah,
and then they have like 9 games with like teams that made the playoffs or something like that, 9 or 10 games,
yeah. We play the
um,
NFC West. Yeah,
something like
and
that. So like
I'm to
you
North.
kind of have to take that into consideration too. Um, but like looking at the list, the only thing I can kind of see is I would probably put Fields a little bit lower. I wouldn't have him at tier 3 yet. Maybe Herbert could be 2, but Burrow
No,
should definitely be 1.
you can't have Herbert that high, dude. That's a rushing offense.
But he still throws though.
He does.
Yeah, but it's a mainly rushing
I know,
offense.
but you never know. I don't know. I think every time I see Herbert play, I always just see him gunning it out.
The name you guys didn't see, tier 3, Dak Prescott. I feel like his upside is probably tier 2, maybe even
Yeah, I
higher.
agree with that.
I agree.
Like I like that they have no running game. Like I don't know who the
They
running
have
backs
no
are. They have
defense.
no defense. Like that he's gonna
They
have to
have two
throw.
number one wide
I
receivers
think
But
the
I think
almost.
they
he'll.
also have like the shittiest schedule too, right?
Do they? I don't remember. They didn't.
I thought they
They
were like top 5 or 10 in
they,
schedule.
they finished second last in their division, so not terrible. But I don't know who they play NFC East. But um, no. I think he might be last year's Joe Burrow if like that. Some of the things keep. He just has to throw and keep up every time. Then I hope that's a good year for him. But yeah, like again, some ceiling, some floor, but like in my opinion, that's how I bunched them up. Moving on to wide receivers. Um, the tier one, the upper echelon people are Jamar Chase from the Bengals,
It's my boy.
Just Justin Jefferson from the Vikings, and CD Lamb from the Cowboys. The only offense we haven't talked about, we already talked about Burrow and Prescott, Justin Jefferson. Like people doubted him last year. He finished as wide receiver 2 overall. Like kind of like Sam Darnold's came out of nowhere and was relevant. So he hasn't finished ever worse than wide receiver 9. With that offense, KOC being the offensive genius he is, that's probably the questionable part. But the talent is not, questioned at all.
I
I
have a
think the
bone to pick with you, good sir.
yes, sir.
If Jamar Chase is tier 1, why aren't you pairing him and put Joe Burrow 1? Why Burrow 2 but Chase 1?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I feel like look at the like tier one, tier two was likely like the floor and the ceiling, right? So Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jane Daniels, Jalen Hurts, because of the rushing, there's like a floor that's slightly higher than Joe Burrow. Yes, Joe Burrow had like amazing ceiling games last year, but let's say things don't go well, right? Maybe like it's a good offense. They have two decent cornerbacks. They have like the passing game is slightly contained. I feel like the ceiling gets much lower than. I think that's why Burrow is probably slightly lower because he doesn't have that rushing upside like 70, 80 yards, a touchdown here and there. I think that could really raises the floor on a lot of the
Are
tier
we
one
really
quarterbacks.
looking at running quarterbacks as being like the norm tier 1 now? Like I feel like that shouldn't be the case.
I mean, fantasy works
It
out that
is the
way.
case, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
It brings another element of consistency.
no, I understand the element part, but I just feel like is it make or break for tier 1s? Like I don't know.
No,
It's like
Like
fairly
If
subjective,
Hertz
right?
didn't have a good run or didn't have the tush push, he'd be what? Tier 2, tier 3?
Oh Jesus, people like hate him.
if
Like,
he
But
have
didn't
you know
you?
have
what
the
I'm saying?
tush, if he didn't have the tush push, he would probably be tier 2,
But that's what I'm
tier
saying. So like
3.
we're talking that much of a
But
difference
he's
where
the
it's
only questionable one in that tier. Like Jaden and Lamar, they run the fucking shit out of the ball. I mean, they're the only argument that you can make for a non-running quarterback to go into tier 1 is Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And that's just because the expectation is that he's can put up 57 fucking touchdowns this year because their defense sucks. But other than that, there's no one even close to the conversation. If you look at your normal pocket passers, they just don't put up the numbers
Like
because
Herbert.
they have that rusher or something. They just don't put up those numbers to get basically in order to compete, you need to be getting 50 touchdowns a year because not only are passing touchdowns less significant than rushing, but you also have passing yards are less significant than rushing yards. So both of those come to the detriment of a pocket passer like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So you
Or
have to
or
get
Justin
stellar numbers
Herbert,
to have
right?
a shot.
Like Herbert and Burrow, I think the talent is probably somewhat on a similar page.
Not even close.
No.
no, I
Yeah.
don't
I
I can't given
Joe,
recent
it's my
events.
opinion. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL,
I
bar
think Joe
none.
Burrow is
did you
top
watch the
2, top 3.
Did you watch the Netflix series about him, Miller? Is that why you're so hyped?
I don't watch that shit.
He doesn't watch
No,
sports.
just
It
watch
it
him
Um
play,
it,
man.
it is pretty cool.
The best pure quarterback. Like obviously Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, but like if you're gonna want a guy that's gonna put up some big numbers, that's gonna be Joe Burrow. He could fucking
he
throw the shit
definitely
out of
has
the
a
ball.
dog in him. I love that. Um, so that was tier one for wide receivers, like alpha people up there. Tier two, slightly below them. So like think end of first round, beginning of second round people. Nico Collins from the Texans, Puka Nakua from the Rams, Malik Neighbors from the Giants, Brian Thomas from Jacksonville, Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Lions, AJ Brown from the Eagles, and Drake London from Falcons. These were tier two. Really talented, high upside people. Some questions here and there. But for the most part, like they could break up into the. Some of them have the talent to break onto the top tier, in my opinion.
Um, I'm really hoping to get some Nico this year, but because he's never healthy, he hasn't played a full season yet. I think this is year 4.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get some Nico. Puka concerns me because you're bringing in Devonte Adams. Puka historically hasn't been a touchdown guy, and now you have, excuse me, two individuals that take touchdowns with Kyron and Devonte.
Yeah.
We'll see how that translates.
Even Stafford getting hurt like streaks, like that's more
Yeah, and then you
concerning to
got
me.
Stafford, Brian Thomas. I mean, it's kind of sad how little coverage Travis Hunter is getting on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can say he's a freak and he's going to be a cornerback and a wide receiver, but like if you look at where he's going in drafts, I think he's being drafted as like wide receiver 30. And let's remember this guy was the second overall pick.
Yeah.
And maybe some of that was due to the fact that he was just a two-way player, but like he could have a bigger impact on Brian Thomas than people realize. You
Yeah.
don't know. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one thing that I'm seeing a lot of is Detroit players are very hyped up this year, which is a little weird considering the departure of Ben Johnson. But a lot of people are talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams that you'll get to in a little bit, and the fact that these guys are just continuing to build and build, and it's just like it's not really how it works. Like, does anybody really expect this offense that was number one that last year to continue to be number one? Like, I don't know. I'm sketchy on that.
I feel like every time we bring that up, though, they always seem to prove that number one offenses always seem to be still in like the top tier. So like we keep bringing it up every time. Like, will they continue? Will they continue? Like, if a team doesn't go through many changes, like you can probably expect it. The only difference would be the strength of schedule, like how good of a schedule you have. But
But
like,
Chris, look at the team. What are you talking about? They didn't go through changes. They lost two offensive linemen. They lost their offensive coordinator. They lost multiple other coordinators. I mean,
Mm.
that's huge change.
yeah, but it's always like, I don't know. For me, it's always like teams that go through that many changes. It's always like a next man up mentality, and they always seem to work out just fine.
I
I
mean, they
So
think
have the
like,
like
coach to do it.
I think they have the coach to do it, but I think it's also a different challenge for him. Like I don't know, Sean McVay and Mike Shannon has done it for years. They bring someone else in. This is good. Like the machine keeps churning, but it'll be a good test for him to see if kind of like is he the system or like the people coming in. Like was it Ben Johnson, the mad genius, or was it like the coach was the secret sauce? I think that's a good take. But again, opportunities are there, right? Like in Detroit, like they will try to be efficient. Will they? Will that one day is decided? But I think they will
I don't
try to
know.
be aggressive. I think the
The one,
opportunity is there for him to be. That's why
the,
I didn't put
the
him
one
in
thing
one.
that the one that concerns me is just like, I mean, Amon Ra, you know he's going to have the solid floor because he's the go-to Jared Goff. But with all the hype around Jamison Williams, it's just like there's a lot of fucking mouths to feed, dude. You
It's like
can't
a
just keep
different
saying
player,
that
right?
that
It's like a
all these players are going to continue to outperform their ADP, and it's just like there's only so many touches in a game.
yeah,
yeah, but I feel like the Bengals also showed that that's possible. I mean,
yeah,
Is Jared Goff Joe Burrow?
have you been to Detroit? They chant his name like he is.
yeah. MVP baby. If you watch another series, quarterbacks on Netflix, um, yeah, like I'm pumped about Drake London, like sneaky player. I know like Michael Penix. Jesus Christ, it will get me in trouble. Like like going to second year, but man, like the contested balls, like go balls, like he did a lot with like really shitty quarterback play last year. I feel like that's gonna be someone to look up to, maybe like elevate himself in the next tier. That'll be interesting. Someone I'm looking out for.
He's not
Uh,
going to the next tier.
if anyone I see making the leap on that list, I feel like it's probably him. Um, Tier three, right below them, Vlad McConkey from the Chargers, T. Higgins from the Bengals, Tyreek Hill from Miami, um, Mike Evans from the Bucks, Devante now with the Rams, JSN from Steelers. Some people that have changed teams, it seems here and there. Devante JSN has more opportunities now with DK leaving. So that's my tier three. Some not so, like Tyreek Hill is making news in the baddest of ways this offseason. I'm slightly concerned about him, but the talent is there. I feel like he
I
could
feel
he could end up wide receiver one all over
I
again.
feel like this is pretty consensus, but I also feel like I'm not going to draft any of those fuckers.
T Higgins, I think, is who I'm high on.
T. Higgins and Ladd, obviously, but like Tyreek Hill, there's talks about him getting traded, not worrying. There's talks about Waddle being the number one receiver there, not touching that. Mike Evans, I mean, he's the definition of consistency, right? But he still has his injury concerns, and that offense is changing a little bit. Devontae Adams, am I really going to take him that high when you don't know how he's going to fit in the offense? Let's not forget they spent a lot of money on Allen Robinson a few years ago, and he did jack shit. And then JSN, I mean, JSN, he had a hell of a year last year, but now he's
I
the only guy there.
Yeah,
So
and
how is that going to translate?
it's a bet on Sam Darnold, right? Like being good again. Like he was amazing last year, but that's the bet there. But like you're probably getting these guys in like third, maybe if even fourth round.
Yeah,
So like
exactly. I
yeah,
would
so
not
like
touch any of them in the third. Thank you.
yeah, I don't know, JSN probably, but the last tier of quarterbacks, sorry, wide receivers to wrap it up here. Garrett Wilson from the Jets, Marvin Harrison from the Arizona, the Cardinals there. Terry McLaurin with his holdout right now with the Commanders. DK Metcalf with Ayahuasca Rogers there. Jameson Williams, we talked about him already, wide receiver 2 from the Lions. DJ Moore out of homegrown, not homegrown, home talent. DJ Moore, Cortland Sun, newly played Cortland Sun up in the Broncos, and Jay Flowers with the Ravens. But again, definitely some concerns. That's why they are not higher up. But again, solid names for wide receiver 2 and 3 on your teams if you can get
I
them.
feel like DK is still tier 3. I don't care what anyone says. Like the fact that we would have him that low, like DK could have an explosive year.
Okay, so first of all, DK has been very inconsistent. Second of all,
Like who
there
you
are there are
think
a
you're
few
drafting?
players on this list right here that are the only wide receiver on their team, and DK is one of them. So he could get a shit ton of balls, and Aaron Rodgers is not a shitty quarterback yet. So sorry, Ben, he's not. So like he could have a good year. I will agree with you there, and it's just like if I'm looking at this list right here, like Terry McLaurin had a fabulous year last year. We don't know what he's currently with the contract situation. DJ Moore, dude, can we just make the announcement to not draft DJ Moore? Like, I haven't heard his
Oh,
fucking name once as far as catching balls in practice. I will say they're using him as a runner, but I don't know how much fucking action this motherfucker's going to get this year. All I hear is Luther Burden and Rome. That's all I hear in the passing game. And
That's what they
we all
want you
know
to
last
hear.
year, he DJ and Caleb were not on the same page for most of the year. Whose ever fault it was, I wouldn't touch him at that place. I do not think DJ Moore is a tier 4.
I could see DJ Moore being tier 4, but then at the same time, kind of going back to what we were discussing with week 1, we have to see the offense with Caleb and kind of get a better understanding. So that's like a completely different thing. But like seeing those two names, and you guys know I don't really look at stats when it comes to fantasy, but like I still feel like DK is above DJ, like even with the trade and everything, even with the inconsistency. But I
I think the conversation about DK Metcalf is like new system, new quarterback. It'll be like and I don't know if you've had him in fantasy, Chris. Like having him in fantasy is like a very different conversation. I would love for him to be like consistent. He's never that consistent.
yeah, but like
Anyway,
the last 2 seasons was a shit show for the Hawks.
Not necessarily a shit show, but you're feeding a lot of mouths. You're talking about JSN having a breakout season towards the end of last year. You're talking about Metcalf, and you're talking about Tyler Lockett. He's
I
always competed for touches, and now he's literally the only wide receiver on that offense. Chris has a point here. I don't
but
say that very often.
I don't know. I don't want to call it run first offense. I don't know how big an influence Rogers will have on the play calling, but that
Who's going to run
offensive
the ball?
Hey, who
Arthur
did we
Smith.
hire from the Seahawks to run our offense at one point?
Oh jeez, what's his name? I just heard his name today.
Who's going to run the ball? You're going to
But
trust
that's what I'm
Jalen
saying. Like,
Warren to run the ball? Oh, wait, Caleb Johnson to run the ball? I know Ben's going to love him. He looks awful.
I mean, he
I
does.
just it can't be a run first offense. I just think Aaron Rodgers, yes, Arthur Smith is running that offense, but it's Aaron Rodgers. You know he's running that offense. And what is he going to do? He's going to feed the shit out of them. And as
No,
much as I don't like Justin Field as a passer, I think Garrett Wilson's in the same boat. No
yep.
one else is on that team. So who's Fields going to throw it to? He's going to throw it to Garrett Wilson.
all right. So those are my tiers, boys. Again, do some mock drafts. Like, looks like you guys haven't done any. These fuckers go off the board, top 50
I've seen
majority.
mock drafts where people just
I'm
do
saying
dumb
you're
shit.
wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, opinion's opinion, but like, I think I will tell you this: give me 2 more games when I can see more of this offense and I can see Caleb in a game setting, and I'll tell you if DJ Moore stays at 4. How about
I'm not
that?
going to tell you
Bro,
shit. It's
bro, in
preseason.
2 games the season will start.
No, we still have 2 more preseason games.
You're not. You don't even know if DJ's going to be out there for tier
DJ's
3
probably
or
not
for
playing the
season for
last
game
one.
3.
probably.
But yeah, we'll see. Appreciate your lists. We'll see. I'm learning that I don't trust any of those fuckers, so it might
So
be
you better
wide
take a wide
receiver heavy
receiver.
early,
You better
and
go
I
early.
think
and
that's what
running
I'm
back
leaning
might be
towards. In
running
those
back
doing
might be in 3
keepers,
and 4.
I think those doing keepers, if you have any wide receiver tier 1 keepers, that's your keeper. Like
Yeah,
that's the easiest decision that you'll ever make.
yeah. Keep T Higgins is what I heard. Um, all right. All right. So that was a fantasy segment. It was a lot of names. Hopefully that was some value to you guys. We may throw some of these over on our website too if we have it. Just so you can watch it. I don't know. It's hard to rattle off names and remember them, so maybe having it in front of you would be helpful. But these are the consensus tiers. You can get it anywhere too. It's like not that hard to find.
You
But
can't get Boopin's tiers anywhere, guys. Only here. So
that's true. Exclusive.
yeah, it's exclusive.
Okay. Miller, you want to talk about our upcoming game?
Well, a few things just to mention today, as far as practice is concerned, before we sign off and get into game 2. Don't know how much you've heard about practice today, but
You could not wait to bring this up, right?
Caleb did have a better day today compared to earlier this week. But that is not the story. The story, I'm gonna fuck this up because I don't remember it. The story is the Canadian Eagle. If those remember it, the Canadian Eagle from Hard Knocks, Mr. Theo Benedict, the
His,
offensive lineman,
his,
he made an appearance as left tackle with the first team today.
oh shit!
So it kind of threw everything into chaos mode. Theo Benedict had some time at left tackle. Braxton Jones had time at left tackle. What's his name? Our draft pick. What's his fucking name? God damn it.
Tropilo.
Trapillo had some time in right tackle today. So it really caused some confusion with a lot of the Bears reporters. No one knows what's going on as
But
far as who's going to be in or what. I think the staff is trying to just rotate, see how everybody's doing, and who's the best at that position. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the offensive line come Sunday, because I think the expectation is with the starters playing, it has been confirmed Caleb will be out there. I think the expectation is whoever steps foot on that line on Sunday is going to be the starter, start the regular season.
yeah,
So things to consider there, but
yeah, I'm excited too. Even on the Bills side, week 1 they didn't play Josh Allen. So Trubisky, our favorite player, another ex quarterback that we keep talking about. He saw a lot of action. So if anything, if at least Mitch will see some Bears, maybe not the our starters, but definitely see the backups. That's something I was looking forward to. But jokes aside,
we've
Josh
already
Allen.
seen him like 4 times, haven't
Yeah,
we?
he already had his revenge game too.
Yeah,
So
I saw that. I laughed.
I
Uh,
laughed.
but no, jokes aside, Josh Allen didn't play week 1. He'll likely play week 2. The newly paid running back,
James
what's his
Cook.
James Cook. He's like probably practicing this week because he just got paid, and he'll likely see some snaps too. So I think a lot more starters. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but there'll be a lot more to talk about. I'm just looking at a SI article, Sports Illustrated, where supposedly Caleb not starting was a national topic in week 1 when
It
Patrick
was.
Mahomes and Joe Burrow played. Why didn't Caleb play? It was a big storyline. So
I will give a shout out to Dan Orlovsky, who did mention that it's smart not to play Caleb if you weren't planning on sending your first O line out there. So if you're gonna send your first starter quarterback, but you were gonna have him with the backup line, like that was useless.
God
So
damn it. That's like one of those stupid
hey,
670 the score ESPN 1000 points. It's a
listen,
stupid ass. If you're
hey,
gonna put,
don't
if you're
call
gonna put,
don't call 670 stupid. That's all you listen to.
I
that's
know
all
it
you
is.
listen to.
But if you put your fucking starting quarterback out there, you're gonna put your starting offensive line out there. It's the
Not
stupidest thing I've ever
not
heard.
not all the time if they're having competitions for certain positions. So that's not entirely true.
But
They're not.
okay,
4 of the positions are solidified. Only left tackle is not. That's just such a stupid argument.
okay. Can I say something about these practice reports. Guys, this is training camp. This is when they try and experiment and they'll throw some picks and they'll do weird combinations. Like, stop holding breath and like doing it.
Stop talking. It's the NFL. We have nothing else to talk about
I
this
know,
time.
but like Jesus Christ, like Caleb puts on his shoe backwards and like has untied shoes. These motherfuckers lose their fucking minds. Like,
Brother, there's
give
only
this.
so many scandals the Pope can do at this time. Like, I don't know what more we can talk about. I will say though, Twitter journalists, it's getting too far. Like, there's always some kind of update that like throws people at arms. Like, if someone's not holding their helmet right, or if someone, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this particular time frame. I hate it because there's just like so many different narratives that a journalist will want to push. And as someone who's trying to study journalism, I feel like a lot is opinion based instead of like what you're seeing. So like, I don't know.
Well,
I
well, I don't necessarily totally agree with that. Everything's opinion based on Twitter, but I see your point, and I think a lot of it's just turned into more clickbait and trying to get comments than actually relevant information. Like
I think
the one
Caleb
thing,
not playing was accidental clickbait.
yeah, the one thing that I'm getting really annoyed about is the coverage of the Sanders kids, and I figured Chris would have been the one to either cover the Sanders Shador's first game or the 70-yard field goal. Instead, he was fucking talking about the end of summer for some reason. But hey, it's not like this is a sports podcast.
NFL preseason for me is when you know summer's almost over. So I
But like the amount of Shador coverage, yeah, you can argue that it was warranted. It was a good game, whatever. It's just off the charts. Calling for him to be the starter right off the bat, whatever, dude. But the thing that
I mean,
annoyed me
who
was
else
the
are you gonna
coverage.
start? Like fucking
The,
Joe Flacco's
the
fucking
thing that
ghost?
annoyed me was the coverage of his brother, Shiloh Sanders, and the amount of coverage he got just because he had a pressure on a quarterback. It's just like, geez, come on, people. Get
wait a minute.
off of
So wait a
it.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me just get this. Let me just get this. If Caleb Williams throws an amazing dot, and that's all he did, you're just gonna be like, it's all right.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying like you can let people be excited if you're gonna be excited.
I just said he had a good game.
Yeah, but like you're criticizing the fact that I mean,
My main point was against his brother, bro.
he
Calm
still had a
down.
good game.
He had one pressure against third string people. He's not even going to make a team.
I was gonna
What are you
say, is he
talking
gonna make the
about?
team?
Listen,
Do you even know what team he plays for?
nope, and I don't care. But see, someone like you would bring shit
Buccaneers.
like that up.
But that's why I'm just annoyed because it was getting nationally
But Miller, if you're annoyed
publicized.
about it, don't bring it up on your
Don't
podcast.
bring it up. That's like oh my god, Boopin and I are like this today. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
You're
We
giving
were
this guy.
We were literally talking about how we hate clickbait on Twitter. And I was making a point to support that agenda, and now you're telling me to not bring it up.
Okay.
I hate you guys.
Listen, when you're
End
bringing
the
up his
fucking podcast.
brother, we're like, come on, we're not talking about that aspect. Now,
That was the national stories that I saw. People were talking about him.
I did not. Boopin, did you see it? I did not see anything.
They didn't even cover it in the podcast I listened to. So like,
There
I
you
know
go.
I know where your national coverage.
I will
came from.
say, Sanders, even though I think he got carted off, I don't know
I
what
believe it was Bleacher Report, fuckers.
well, Bleacher Report that's a different subject.
What do you got against them?
They're mostly just blogs, and it's what like it's not a
Got it.
journalistic kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and Chris would know, Miller.
I'm studying this.
Yeah,
No, but
reputed
in all,
journalist.
no, but in all seriousness, Sanders looked good. Like he
No,
looked
like
good.
I don't know if he's the long term answer, but like, why would you like your third round doesn't look any better? Why would you give it to Kenny Pickett? Like, what the ghost of Joe Flacco is not going to get you anything significant. Like, why not give
But
this kid a
Poopin,
shot?
can you really sit here and pay Miles Garrett? What did they pay him? A fucking shit ton of money to
Oh, he
put
doesn't care
out
anymore.
a rookie anymore?
Hey Miller,
Doesn't care.
once you
fuck
pay,
you. Yes, he does. He probably cares more than most of those people. He is probably going to go down as one of the best defensive linemen in football. And you don't think he wants to play in the playoffs or have a chance at the Super Bowl?
he does, but Do you think playing Joe Flacco like gives having one playoff game like or like playing for the wild card is any different, or like
I
maybe
mean, it's still
building something?
playing. And
May,
we've
may,
seen Von Miller take over a game. Why couldn't Miles Garrett take over a game?
yeah.
You
So
just have to get there. I don't know. I don't know. Everything I hear is
there's
that's
a
just a
lot of
fucking
issues with
shitty
that
team.
team, and I like quarterback. Yes, gets a lot of attention. There's other things going on with that team too.
I think the quarterback is getting the most attention, but because of how much of a drop we saw with him, I think Hunter is also another interesting player. I was going to ask about Travis Hunter's fantasy stock,
It's
but we could.
low. It's really low.
Well,
It's like
you
he's like going as like wide receiver 30.
Miller, wait, you said low as in high, like it's going too high, or low as in like he should go higher?
Yeah, saying it's low as in low. It's like wide receiver 30. It's low. That's the stock.
But do you think he
Do
should go
you think
higher?
he should be higher?
I would think so, but I just covered this when we talked about
No,
Brian
like
Thomas.
so that's what I was going to say. Like no one's really knows how much he will play. Like the podcast I listened to, they
Ev-
were like talking about will he finish like top 24 wide receiver, and they were like, yeah, we'll see. Like because like even though he'll play both, I feel like there'll be one that he like really like Dion, like he's probably do something like primarily, and there'll be other things he does. I feel like is what they are, because no one's had a player like this before, right? It's Shohei Otani, right? Like no one's like had this, so everyone's just guessing at this
Well, no,
point.
it's been done
Like
with
Not to
who?
Dion.
this extent.
Dion.
But I think the consensus is he's going to play more wide receiver than he is cornerback.
Supposedly wide receiver is easier to play than cornerback. So like they say he may do that more. I'm pretty high on the Jacksonville offense. I feel like they'll be better than they have been last couple of years with that new defensive coordinator. But I don't know. I think they have a legit one. I
Duval.
think
Duval.
Brian Thomas is that dog. He is the number one. So like he doesn't need to do that much to like be relevant, be someone. But like I think 30
I
is
don't think
fine.
you can.
I'm not drafting
I
him.
like Brian Thomas a lot. I
Yeah,
do.
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think you
saying.
can sit here and say he's the dog.
I
First
think
of
he is.
all, he didn't do a lot with Travis. You realize that, right?
Yeah, it was
How
Mac
did
Jones.
It was
I've heard
Mac
that.
Jones that put him
I've
on the map.
I have a question.
I've heard
So
that.
now that you have Travis Hunter in the equation, I think it could complicate that stock a little bit.
I have a question, and I don't want to go too long because we're already at over
Yeah,
an
we're
hour.
very long.
Um,
You're too long.
if Hunter was to get a tackle for loss, how would his points stack up in fantasy? That
It
just doesn't count, right?
if you pay IDP league, I think you would get both. You
But
would
if he
get
gets an
both.
interception
Yeah,
for a
because
touch,
yeah, he's right. He's right because I mean the defense isn't player related typically, so
But
it doesn't matter who gets
yeah,
the tackle for loss. The defense does.
but
So he wouldn't get points for that. But if you played like a IDP with the defensive player, then
yeah.
he would get points for
you
both.
can get point. Okay, but if like
I
so,
would
if he gets
assume
an interception, then it just counts as a defensive thing,
it's
not.
just a
Um,
defensive thing, not a player.
And if he gets a touchdown, then that's okay.
it counts like that's like a returner
I
getting
would
a
imagine
touchdown.
the defensive touchdown would count.
Yeah, like it's a returner getting a touchdown. Basically, I feel like that would count. But you know what fantasy baseball did this season? You can draft in some leagues. You can draft Shohei Ohtani the pitcher and Shohei Ohtani the batter, and they're two different players. I think
Well, that
on
makes sense.
I think on Yahoo, ESPN, one of the two, it's one player, and you can like put him on both positions, so you'll get credit for either or. But I think on Yahoo, he's two different players. He's a batter and a pitcher.
I
So
think that
I
makes
don't know.
sense.
That was like interesting because he was going number one overall otherwise, like easily, right? You have one of the best batter and one of the best pitchers out there. Like, yeah, he's going number one overall, but because of that, he was going like top three.
I love that that was just a natural tangent. But Boobin, take us home because Miller is gonna miss his nap.
And we end on a positive note, right, Miller? I'm gonna butcher this name, but another positive for today was Deo Odebengo, who we had so many questions from. He looked good this today in practice against our very own left tackle Braxton Jones. So on that positive note, people, thank you for joining us. Uh, Hope you have a wonderful week. Hope we brought some joy into your life today. Keep the feedback coming. Give us the love. We need it. This was fun. We are getting into our season form. We are working through it. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.